Okay, so this is a review of the test that we did. You did, I didn't do it. I'm going to go through as many of the answers as I can. A lot of them are short answers, and I don't want to particularly waste all of your time. So first of all, what is a natural resource? And I've disappeared again. I've always disappeared, there and back. So what is a natural resource? A natural resource is anything that occurs naturally, either as a substance or a flow like water or sunlight, that meets the needs of human beings. That's the crucial thing, meets the needs of human beings. Many of you just wrote the word stuff. It's just rubbish. Okay, identify relevant resources. Coal, is it energy, food, or both? Listen, if you eat coal, that's fantastic, but I can't imagine it's particularly healthy for you. So clearly, energy. All of these are quite straightforward until you get down to things like crops, because of course we can now make an additive for fuel that is made from crops by fermenting it. Likewise, cattle. Certainly, my time in India, there were people, very poor people, who made money by picking up the dried cow pats off the road, and people use them then as fuel to burn to make enough heat to boil their rice water. So in fact, you've got some margins there where you could have one or the other. Malnutrition. If you don't know something, you look it up. You don't just write rubbish. So malnourishment is where you do not get a balanced diet, i.e., where your diet does not have enough of all of the major food groups. Go and listen to PSHE, go and listen to biology, but don't give me malnourishment is when people don't get enough nutrition. Rubbish. List one economic impact of malnourishment. Many of you got this. One impact is that people may not be able to go to work. And if they can't go to work, they may not be able to get money to support their family. One social impact of malnourishment is that people may die, or that families have to look after young ones, which may have an economic impact as well. Water consumption, MEDC versus LEDC. Actually, HIC versus LIC. And it's a simple question. It asks you up here, in fact, it said, look at the pie chart, describe the differences between the usage, the consumption, the usage. So take an obvious one, take sector by sector, agriculture. So a higher percentage of water is used in agriculture and LICs than in HICs. That's a level one answer, what we call a basic answer. Level two answer, 91% of water that is used in LICs for agriculture, whereas only, that comparative language, whereas only 39% is used in HICs. So it's a much more detailed answer. Even better still, you might want to then rank them. You could say that whereas in HICs, industry uses 47% of water, in LICs, this is only 5% and is not the highest. All right? So to add detail, look back at your answer and think, whoa, really? Did I think I'd get marks for that? Not a chance. Describe two reasons why global energy consumption is increasing. Remember that energy consumption refers to any usage. So you've got to write coherently. You've got to use capital letters. You've got to really get in there. Two reasons why global energy consumption. Number one, you could indicate that global populations are still rising. We are still rising in global populations. Therefore, more energy is needed to meet the needs of those people. It's about resources to meet the needs of those people. And this may be fuel wood, it may be cattle dung. And then secondly, the standard of living in many countries around the world is rising. So people now use more objects that require energy, particularly electricity, such as washing machines, or it might be there are more cars per person in a country like India or in a country like China. Right? But get into detail. Don't be happy in just writing a few words. Questions like this are a chance for you to show off, not a chance for you to just think, bleh. And please, you're not texting me an answer. We start with a capital letter, we end with a full stop. Place names have capital letters. You just look poor if you just give me just lowercase as if you're writing a hangout message to your mate. I'm not your mate. Study the map which shows daily calorie intake, a measure of how much food. Name two countries that feature the highest band of calorie intake. So you're looking for the darkest blue. So we've got the United States of America and Canada. Don't just call that America. Canadians won't like you for it. And then pick a country from Northwestern Europe. It's easy. 9, Central African countries often feature the lower band. Explain why this is. Well, very often these people have got very limited lands to be able to farm from, or they don't have much money to be able to exchange for food. It may be that in some of these areas in Central Africa, the climate is poor and it means they don't get good yields from the land. But get into the detail, folks. Number 10, look at the map below. It shows water stress on a global scale. There's a definition up here, but if you can't read it, there's a thing called a tab, And the internet, look it up. And if you put definition and words, the first thing that will pop up is a dictionary definition. Use it. And you're asked here to define the term water stress. Again, water stress is dependent on demand, or how much water is needed, versus supply, how much water is there. It isn't just there isn't much water around. According to the map, many HICs suffer from physical water stress, but it isn't always obvious if you visit these places. Why is that? That's probably because there are very wealthy countries that have developed water transfer schemes to move water from where it's in excess, for example, in mid Wales, to where it's needed, Birmingham in the southeast of England, where water is in deficit. For example, in Phoenix, Arizona, they take water from the River Colorado by the Central Irrigation Project. Do a bit of research, do some reading, heavens to Betsy. Number 12, study the graph below which shows the amount of electricity produced and consumed by a range of countries. What is the range of production? Range is maximum, take away minimum. So again, you should have got your answer down from one of those three. Brazil, India, and China feature on the graph. However, they are not considered HICs. They are NIEs. NIE. What is it? NIE. So you should get a correct answer if you can be bothered to spell economy right. And why do NIEs use huge amounts of electricity? Because, of course, NIEs are moving from an agricultural-based economy. I go back up to the pie graphs. They go from agricultural-based to industrial-based. And industry uses machines. And also, it employs people. And those people themselves go and buy different kinds of machines. And those machines use electricity. Okay? So my overall feeling for a lot of you is don't sell yourself short by writing really simple answers. At your age now, you should be pushing yourself to try and write better and better answers. Don't copy them from the internet, but use each question as a springboard to go and check up and investigate the answers. I thank you.